Alright folks, welcome back. This is Balatro every day, and today, Mustafa couldn't finish. But if you want to try finishing before watching me go at it, you can get the seed from the video description, and when you're ready, let's go Gold Stake Erratic deck. First boss, -1 hand size. In the deck we've got a little bit light on hearts, looks like a little bit up on spades. Pretty high spades, kind of high clubs. Looks like 9 queens and 7 jacks. Only 110. Alright, in the first round, could be a couple of jacks, I guess. Alright, in the first shop, probably we don't want Eternal Splash. Probably we can't do straights. Let's take a look. Only 110, 2 9s, 3 6s, and 3 3s is kind of rough. So maybe we can't do straights, can't do Devious Joker. Do we want this Buffoon pack? For some of you, the answer is yes. For me, the answer is probably no. So the consideration is, can I reasonably beat the big blind and the boss without any jokers, without any help? On the checker deck, you can beat the boss with 2 300-point flushes, no problem. Even in the small blind of ante 2, you can play 3 flushes with relative ease. On the plasma deck, it's even easier. You can beat the boss with just 1 flush. So on the plasma deck, I don't open the early Buffoon pack. On the checker deck, also probably don't open the first Buffoon pack. With the erratic deck, most of the time you have a little bit extra of 1 card and a little bit fewer of some other cards. So maybe you've got 3 3s and 5 4s, or maybe you've got 6 of one thing and 2 9s, or something like that. Most of the time you don't get this. Most of the time you don't get this kind of extreme 9 copies of 1 card. So on the erratic deck, probably I usually open the Buffoon pack, but for this particular instance, I think having 9 queens and 7 jacks, we can pretty reasonably get full houses. Maybe also with a few extra spades, we can get the high spade flush with relative ease. So I don't think we need this Buffoon pack. We can save our money for the clearance sale and just go next. All right, in round 2, you could go for the spade flush since we have 16 spades in the deck, but if I go for the full house here, normally we can't go for the full house, but because we're playing on this erratic deck, we've got 7 queens and 5 jacks. That's 12 possible outs. All right, now that we have the full house, do we want to keep going here? So we could play the full house. We could try to get the 4 of a kind jacks. There's not that many jacks to get in the deck, but it's not impossible. We got the 4 of a kind in the first round. If I use my discards now, I won't have discards left over to set up a second hand. So let's say we don't get the 4 of a kind, we end up playing the full house, then I still need a second hand. The full house is pretty high. I probably only need 100 points. I probably only need 2 pair. I think I'm going to play the full house. I think this is the safest move. Well, safest in the sense that I think this has the best chance of us winning in as few hands as possible. So we're not going to one-shot, but we can follow up with aces and 5s as 2 pair. I think that's enough. But if we're not quite sure about it, we can try to dig for another queen or king. Let's go for another queen here. All right, we didn't get the high 2 pair, but I think this is a high enough 2 pair. We only need 100 points. There you go. All right, in the first, well, not the first shop. Okay, so I said I wanted the clearance sale. I think that's still true. We can buy the clearance sale. I said we can probably beat the boss without any help. I think that's still true. Maybe I want misprint here because it could help me in the next round after the boss. Sure. Important thing to note here, with the voucher, the card cost is reduced, but also the sell value is reduced. So normally misprint, buy it for 4, sell it for 2. Now misprint, buy it for 3, sell it for 1. So the difference there, it still costs $2. It still works out to be about the same. All right, let's go next. So pair of queens will sometimes win with the misprint. Let's try to get another jack or another queen. So 13 possible outs here. The full house almost certainly wins. Okay. Plus 15, I think the pair wouldn't have worked, but 2 pair would have worked. Could be a banana. Runner, for the same reason we don't do Devious Joker, probably we don't do Runner. It is tempting though, because it is scaling chips, which can be very powerful if we think about it like, let's say you have a blue seal. Blue seal gives you a Mercury card that gives you 15 chips, right? And the blue seal, you don't necessarily get the planet card every round, but you do get it most rounds. With the Runner, if we can get 15 chips once per round, then it's worth it. You don't have to play a lot of straights for the Runner to be worth it. And maybe some rounds you don't get the straight, but you get the 15 chips every other round or something like that. It's kind of like having a blue seal. But with only 110, if I try to play the low straights, I only have 3 6s, I only have 3 3s. I think maybe I don't take the Runner. Maybe I do pick up Michelle here. I don't think we need it, but the misprint is perishable, and so maybe that is something that we want to do. And if we pick it up early, maybe we can get Cavendish later. I think then we don't need the Buffoon pack, though there is a consideration for this particular boss. Could be kind of stinky. I'm in need of probably some source of chips, and one way that we could get a source of chips, you could think about the hands we play could be a source of chips. So usually we try to play pairs. If we have a chip stroke, or if we don't have a chip stroke, you could play 2 pair. And then if you just play 4 face cards, that's a decent amount of chips already. That's 40 chips already. Could be the flushes. I think because of this boss specifically, I think we open the Buffoon pack. Maybe. I guess with these 2 jokers alone, 2 mold jokers, I think we can get 4,000 points. The question is Michelle going to leave me right away? Let's go Buffoon pack. Okay. So Steven could be a red card. Holographic. Maybe I should have opened that first. If I open that first, maybe do we still take the banana? I think the answer is yes. Should have thought about it longer. Alright. So now I can go queens and jacks again. As 2 pair probably wins. Could be a full house here. You could play 2 pair in case you find a telescope or in case you find supernova, but I'll just play the full house so that we know for sure it wins. There's an earth card, so that is something that we could do. I think long term, the problem with leveling up the full house is I can play a full house. I don't know if I could play multiple full houses. And so maybe I don't take the earth card for that reason. Maybe we just keep saving here. We don't, since the red card's holographic, we don't need to feed the red card right away. We can just save our money and go next. Actually, speaking of saving money, maybe we sell the misprint and we get an extra $1. I kind of like that idea. Because we have Michelle and we have a holographic, we could just get a full house again, maybe? Maybe. I could play 4 of a kind jacks. That for sure works. 3,000. We could beat the boss with 2 pair twice, I think. Could be the gelato, could be the banner. With generic plus molt, maybe I want generic chips to go with it. Probably don't need both. Probably we don't need both. I guess one incentive to take both is if I take the banner, then I play fewer hands, and then the gelato lasts longer if I have the banner. Maybe. I guess it's not that expensive. I do eventually want to save up money so that I could do the red card. So between the 2 of these, probably you want the gelato so that you can use your discards to find 4 of a kind and full houses and 2 pair and stuff like that. So maybe the banner's not good anyway. If I take it here, it doesn't cost me extra interest in the short term, but it does cost me extra interest in the long term. So let's go next. All right, let's see if we can one-shot here. I could play the 2 pair, but I want to try to get a full house at least. I could do jacks and 4s. Could be 4 of a kind 4s. Okay, If we have the banner there, you actually don't need a discard. You just play high card and you get 4,000 points. Could be a campfire. Campfire is very strong and probably worth it. Long term, probably worth it. So take the campfire. Now, do we want a jumbo Arcana pack? Do we want a standard pack? Since we have the red card, if Overstock wasn't here, I might be more tempted, but because Overstock is here, I want to save my money for Overstock. Let's go next. Okay, bosses face down after played. So, could be aces and queens. I guess we know the full house works, so maybe we try to get queens and fours. Could be 4 queens. Okay. In the next round, we do the same thing. 4 of a kind. Alright, there's a burger. Is not great, because we want to discard to get our better hands. So rather than playing more hands, we want to discard to find better hands. So maybe no burger. Maybe Arcana, maybe Buffoon pack. So $3 Buffoon pack, I think, is worth it. And then if it's bad, we can skip. So would you rather get superposition, sell it for $1, or just get 3 molt here? Probably we take 3 molt and then go save our money for Overstock. I don't need to feed the campfire here, so I'm not going to buy the plutonium. Let's go next. So could be a straight. I would need an 8 or a king. I don't have a whole lot of faith in that. So let's try 4s and queens. I guess it's 4s and 3s. Bummer. No queens. Because we have the gelato, the next hand wins no matter what it is. Let's play 4 of a kind queens. Okay. And this boss face down after played. Okay. Gift card is particularly powerful, but maybe certificate is probably what we want to do. If we get purple seals, we can feed the campfire. If we get gold seals, we can buy stuff to feed the campfire. And if we get blue seals, then we win. So probably certificate. We can go Arcana pack first in case we get money. Or maybe we wait until the next ante since we want Overstock here. Let's go. I think I'm okay with Arcana first. Bummer. Pool does nothing here, so we could remove 2 cards. We could use a death card. Probably I just want to remove 2 cards. So could be we don't need the 3 and we don't need the 6s maybe. We can keep 5s and 4s, that's fine. All right, let's hang them. So certificate, yes. Overstock next. And do we want a Mercury card? Oh, I guess I forgot about the red card. We could have skipped there. Maybe we should have skipped there. Probably we want Mercury. Probably. I think since I have certificate, I'm more likely to want Mercury. Let's go next. Alright, I can discard purple. And because we have the gelato, it doesn't actually matter what we play. There's an Emperor. So lovers we want to sell for the campfire, but we don't need to sell it now. We can wait until the next round. Hermie we want to save. So I can play the pair of 9s and then dig for queens. Okay, so pair of queens wins. No need to get fancy here. I guess I have a queen of spades. Let's do that. So this is at the least a pair, and then you play the 4s here. Lovers, if we sell it now, we get an extra $1 of interest. Hermit, if I use it now, I also get extra interest, but I think I'm going to save Hermit until the shop. She gone. Alright, so that is half of our points. Okay, and now we need 9,000. Okay. Be Emperor here. What you want to do is you want to save the Hermit. But I want to use the Emperor here. I want to buy these booster packs for the red card. I potentially want to buy the extra hand here, so probably we use the Hermit. And then we can buy an Emperor, but not use it right away. Let's go Archon in case we get a Fool. No Fool, but we get Temperance. So, slightly punished, I guess. If we have Temperance here, we could have bought a Joker. Would have bought a Joker. Emperor gives me a Fool and a Death card. There are a lot of spicy things that we could do with a Fool. Death card. Probably we want to copy a blue seal as soon as we get one. That is a little bit greedy, but not the most greedy thing we've ever done. I want to do Temperance for sure, rather than skipping for the red card. Could be Buffoon pack now. So Golden Joker is good, and maybe we want to take it instead of skipping. We did lose, like I said, we lost half of our points, but maybe that's fine. I probably want the Fist. So maybe here we skip and then we take the Fist. I'm thinking maybe Certificate is already a value generator. Maybe I don't have room for a Golden Joker. And then save these tarot cards. Take the Fist. And we don't need the extra hand yet. I guess if I buy this now, it costs me $1 of interest, but it gives me an extra hand, which is an extra $1. So let's go ahead and take it now and go next. All right, so Red Seal 9 I don't care about. My 2 pair is better than my pair, but if I keep the 9 in hand, I can retrigger with the Fist. So maybe do something like that. So a pair wins. Maybe we could have done the Golden Joker. I want to find my purple seal. So maybe I discard once. There's a purple 8. So do I want to use Death to make more purple 8s? Probably. Let's do that. Copying a blue seal would be cool, but copying a purple 8 is not necessarily bad. I could discard 2 8s and then maybe we get another death card or a fool. We get a hung man instead. So I'm thinking we could do lucky queens, could be lucky 4 of a kind. So lucky queens. I guess it doesn't really matter which cards. We haven't had any suit bosses yet. Ace and 9, we can hang them. And this 4 of a kind wins. Okay. I need to replace this gelato. Could be Midas Mask. Midas Mask and Rebate are both very powerful. But I'm tempted to say, I don't know if I could survive without the Fist. Maybe that's a little bit too greedy to take the Midas Mask, even though we could play 4 of a kind queens and get a lot of gold cards. You could drop the gelato here if you think you can play the 4 of a kind consistently, which maybe I don't have full confidence in that. Having campfire and having certificate here means we can't take these other value generators. If we had higher level hands, we could drop the gelato, but I don't think we could do that. So let's go Priestess and then Arcana. Maybe depending how this goes. Empress, we just skip for the red card. Arcana looking for a Fool. No Fool, but we could get Emperor. So Emperor. One thing we could do, I could take Emperor, get 2 cells for the campfire, and then I can drop the Fist. I can swap the Fist for the Midas Mask, and then after using the Midas Mask for 2 rounds, I can swap it for something else. Is that greedy? Is that too much? Or I could just skip here for the red card. Let's see. Boss says no repeats. I think we could do it. So Priestess gives me Neptune. I don't want. Venus I might consider. I think for me it's pair, 2 pair, 4 of a kind, but not really 3 of a kind. So let's just get the campfire value. Let's skip for the red card is now 22. Probably take the Midas Mask here. I think we can pull it off. And then don't reroll because I don't want to sell the Midas Mask, or this stuff is fine. All right, go next. All right, so what can we do here? We got a blue seal 6. We can play jacks and 8s as 2 pair. Choosing 2 pair because it gives us slightly more chips. Okay. We can play a pair of jacks without winning. Sure. Do I want to discard and try to find 2 pair first? 2 pair would be better. I can play 2 pair queens and jacks. This doesn't win. Then, with the blue seal, do we want to get the 4 of a kind? Do we want to get the pair levels? Probably we want the pair levels long term. With the certificate, it's going to be hard to play 4 of a kind. If we play the 4 of a kind, we get more Midas Mask value. So discard the jacks. Play 4 or play 5 queens? Let's see. How many gold cards are we trying to make here? I think I play 4 queens. And then we get the 4 of a kind level, and that's fine. Alright. So probably we don't need Midas Mask anymore. We can use an Emperor. We get Hermes. So I think against this boss, I want to fuel up the campfire. So let's do that. Blister pack, we get another Mars card. And Hermes, and there's another Fist. Do we take the Fist here? If I can draw the 4 of a kind, then I don't need the gelato, but I don't know if I could draw the 4 of a kind. Probably we can. How are we doing on the Midas Mask? We got like half of the cards. Maybe it makes sense to sell the Midas Mask now. Maybe we got enough gold cards. Maybe let's not be greedy. So Midas Mask out and then Fist back in. I could sell the gelato for a smiley face to grow the campfire. I could save my money to grow the campfire next ante. I think next ante is the answer. All right. I can play 3 8s. I have a gold seal in hand. That's... The Fist is not very good here, but that's fine. Okay. I can discard my 8s. 5th card. So we're looking for the blue seal. I can play high card 5. I could discard the 5 as a way of trying to find the blue seal. Maybe. I get the red seal 9. You could copy the red seal 9 with death. You could use death on the queens if we want to play the 4 of a kind plan. I think I'm saving death for the blue seal, and I think I don't need to use the world here. I'm going to play high card king. We know scores a decent amount because we have the gelato. And then if we need to, we can play a pair of queens. Could be a pair of queens here. Could be 4 of a kind here. I think let's do the 4 of a kind now. So don't need the world. Here we are sacrificing a lot of gold cards in order to get the 4 of a kind level. I think the 4 of a kind level is worth it. Alright, good news is we only need 1 4 of a kind each round. Bad news is we have the certificate working against us. We have purple seals in our favor. We have an extra hand as a way of drawing the 4 of a kind. Alright, could be a spectral pack. Sly Joker. Gelato on 30. Probably we're all in on 4 of a kind. Also, this boss is a little bit awkward, so I think that means we buy and sell for the campfire. Let's go Gelato out. Okay. I can pick up Zany Joker. I think I'm going to use the Mars cards in case there's more Mars cards in the shop. We can go one more. Alright, extra hand size is good. I don't need Lustful Joker. We can fuel the campfire. Extra hand size for the Spectral Pack. We could go one more. Empress is okay. I'm looking for tarot cards to use inside the Spectral Pack, but maybe this is fine with the extra hand size. Alright, could be another purple seal, could be Wraith. Probably we don't want to do. Maybe Sigil doesn't make sense. I like purple seal on the Jack. And then maybe turn it into a queen. Or you could do purple seal 8 since we have so many 8s already. Could do 4 of a kind 8s. Okay. Forgot we have the red card. Alright. So Habsies is out. And then Misprint is in. Go one more. Could be Northern Lion. Could be Mystic Summit. I think with the fist and the red card, I think we're good without Mystic Summit. And then we can just take Northern Lion here. We can sell the Empress for the campfire and then open the Celestial Pack. Probably skip unless it's 4 of a kind. I think I'm all in on 4 of a kind. No pairs here. Alright, because we have the extra hand to enable the 4 of a kind. Alright, so now let's play garbage. I guess I can keep the 3. Let's play high card 10. Doesn't score very much. I can play 3 aces. The 4 queens win. Okay, I can play another high card. I'm looking for my purple seals. There's 1 purple seal. Get a tower. If you use the tower on the blue seal, the fist doesn't count it. So maybe we want to do that. I could play high card, throw away a jack here, or maybe I don't want to do that. Alright, so stone the 6. There's the 4 of a kind. Times 3 on the campfire, we were able to get 50,000. Alright. We're cooking. Okay, Fool for Mars is not the best. Could be an 8-ball since we have so many 8s. I guess we only have 6 8s. Could be faceless joker. Maybe. We don't need to feed the campfire. As long as we can draw the 4 of a kind. Bosses play only one hand. Probably we should feed the campfire just in case. Standard pack we can skip unless it's a queen. So let's do the slightly... So between Faceless Joker and 8-ball, I guess... Sell Faceless Joker, take 8-ball. Before we open the Spectral pack, we can reroll. Could be one of those. So if we take Cavendish, we don't need the Fist anymore. Do I want to use a Fool for a Mars card? Do I want to use a Fool for Hermie? Probably Hermie, though Death would be better. Alright, so Cavendish is in. Astronomer could replace the Fist now. Could be a Stone Joker. Stone Joker plus Cavendish means we defeat the boss, no problem. Though, maybe I want business card for all of my queens. Let's do the conservative thing. I think we have enough value generation, perhaps. Go one more. Plutonium we can sell. Egg here we don't need to sell. Retro Pack has more aces. We can skip for the red card. Now 24 molt. $6 is not that expensive. We could go one more. Sly Joker instead of Stone Joker. I think... do I want to pay the rental fee? Not really. So let's just go next. Alright. So... Blue Seal in hand. Because we have the Stone Joker, we don't get to play very many hands. Maybe. Empress and Magician. Probably... I don't need to feed the campfire anymore, so I could go make a Lucky Queen. I think I'm okay with. Here, the Jacks, we could discard them. We could just accept the one Blue Seal is probably fine. Maybe Lucky 8 here. So I think that's okay, and then we could discard the 8. I don't need to sell the Empress. I can play the 4 queens. I could play an 8 and try to dig for another queen, but I think I'm just gonna ship the 4 of a kind. Alright, times 5 on the campfire. Of course, we're fine. Okay. Wee Joker is not gonna do anything for us. Let's go Celestial Pack first and then Hermie. This we can skip. Buffoon Pack. Could be the Pants, could be Trio. I mean, long-term Trio is better than Stone Joker here. Trio is better than the red card. But short-term, I do want to have some amount of safety against this boss. I don't need to buy anything here, but it's only $3 to reroll. Maybe we get the Hungman. Maybe Bartolomeo. I don't have that many lucky cards. Alright, we got a nice amount of money left. I think I'm going to save my money for the next ante so we can feed the campfire. I get a purple 8. So... Empress, we could use it. We could sell it. I think maybe... I can sell it. I'm just going to use the Hungman here, right? So I don't really need the king. I don't really need the 3. We can hang him. And then discard purple. And throw away the 10. So that's another tower. If we need it, we can make a red stone card, which is pretty powerful. So obviously we want the queens here, but if we don't get the queens, then the red stone wins. Right. So make a rock. And then I'm going to play the pair because it's slightly stronger. There you go. Alright, so that was with ×5 on the campfire, which we don't necessarily need to get it that big all the time. I think I will take a mercury level. Maybe. Could be a trio. Could be extra hand, which is the same as an extra discard. So, do we think we can get 4 of a kind against this boss? This boss is tough for the 4 of a kind plan, but I think with the extra hand we should be able to pull it off. So, if I take the trio here, I'm gonna drop the red card. And I think that's fine with the levels that we have. So let's go Celestial Pack. There's a 4 of a kind. That's fine. And then now we're all in on... Well, the easy thing to do is you just feed the campfire and then you play pairs from here. The exciting thing to do is take the trio. Okay. And then we can square up. Alright. So... could be a golden joker. Could be buy and sell the planet cards. We got the discount, so everything's just $1. Golden joker, probably sell it. Hungman. Okay, so now we can go Arcana. We can use the Hungman. Could be Temperance for 11 bucks. Could be an Emperor. Probably we want Emperor here. So aces and 5s. I think we can hang them. Sure. I'm just trying to play jacks, queens, maybe 8s. Empress we can sell. Emperor gives us a death card. Probably you're supposed to make more queens so that you can get the 4 of a kind. Maybe I want to make more blue seals. That's slightly greedy, but I think it's okay. So maybe I actually make a purple seal. No, let's go more blue. So 9 turns into a 6. And then Temperance for 11. $6. Alright, can't take a Fortune Teller here, but we can take a Cartomancer. And then go next. Alright, Orbital Tag. Here we go. Judgment we don't need, but I guess we're going to sell the Cartomancer anyway. The last thing we used was Temperance, so I don't care if I get a Fool. There's an Idol. That's kind of interesting. So... can I play 2-pair without winning? Probably. And then save my discards for purple. Cool. I can discard these purples. Probably I don't need the gold seal. I don't think the world matters too much, but I could turn all my queens into spades if I want. Play high card. Okay, so we have the 4 of a kind queens. We can dig for more blue seals if we want. And I think we should. Right, because we can discard 3 at a time. Pretty good chance of hitting it. I could do ace high one more time, and then maybe we get a purple seal. Couple of purple seals. Alright, so world we said we don't care about. Though it's not impossible. We could do the flush 5. And Hierophant we also don't care about. I guess I will use it. Alright. There's a world and the sun. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. ×5 on the campfire. Okay. Now what? Alright, Arcana packs. We want to reroll first. I'm feeding the campfire in case we don't get the 4 of a kind against the boss. Burglar doesn't help because I want my purple seals. Could be a hologram, I guess. Go one more. So, are we doing hologram or are we doing Cavendish? Because long-term hologram plus certificate is the thing that we want to do. But we could sell it here to feed the campfire more. I guess this is fine. Fool for Mars is good enough, I guess. Alright, there's another Fool for Mars instead of making lucky cards here. Go next. Alright, so can I play the flush now? Or is that too strong? Is the pair too strong? Kinda. So now we can discard purples. Star and Empress we don't care about. I can play a pair of threes. Okay. Now we want to try to get another blue seal. Two extra hands is a lot of hands. Strength? That's huge. I can use strength on a jack, maybe? So I think that means oh, I'm out of discards. Alright, I think that means we use up the queens here. So go one more time for the blue seal. Two jacks become two queens. And then we play four of a kind. I could have done the jack that's not enhanced, but I wanted to do the gold queens. That's a blue seal. There we go. Okay. We just used strength. We could get a fool. Could be Arcana first, or I'll just use the Mars cards and then maybe we use the Devil inside the booster pack. And I think I'm going to stop growing the campfire here. Alright, so Temperance for 12 bucks. I could make a gold card right now, or I can wait. If we get a blue seal, I could turn it into gold. So Fool for Temperance could be 20 bucks. Could be you make a glass queen, would be very powerful, but could be fragile. I think I'd rather take the money with the current situation. And I do want more tarot cards, but I think I'm going to wait to grow the campfire next round. Alright, so blue seals in hand. We can start by playing a 3 for the money. Okay. I can make a gold 6 or a gold 9. I have more 6s than I have 9s, so I'll make a gold 6. I could discard 2 purples. We had the 4 of a kind. Alright, so we can't lose. I can play high card 5. I don't need your judgment. I don't need sun. Okay. And maybe we draw a purple seal. No purple seal, that's fine. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4 queens. There you go. Alright. Mars card, sure. Okay. Alright, we could feed the campfire if we want. This boss says play only one type of hand. Okay, so if we don't draw the 4 of a kind, we lose. Or maybe we end up playing pairs. Maybe you make some bonus cards and that helps. Maybe it doesn't matter if we get a big enough campfire. Maybe we are supposed to drop Cavendish here so that we can grow the campfire more. Maybe. Let's do that. I mean, we got the money, might as well. $1 rerolls. Okay. Ooh, I like that. Could be a cola. No skip tags that are worth it. Hey, look, a blackboard. With this much money, if we get rid of Cavendish, we can always re-roll into something else that's useful, like a blackboard. Empress, tower. Maybe you take the tower and then that protects you against the boss because you can play the stone cards. Maybe. Go one more. Alright, chariot. I could make a red steel card, but I think I like having the rock. Let's go Arcana 1 so I can use these tarot cards upstairs. Fool for could be a Mars card. So Mars or remove 2 cards. Probably I want to hang him. So I can turn the blue ace into another rock, which we could use in an emergency, I think. 4 and 5, we could just hang him. And then with the Fool, we can hang him again. So Chariot could be useful after we sell Jupiter. Look inside the Arcana pack. Okay, so red seal ace I could turn into steel, or I could just go steel here. 4 and 2 we can hang them, and then maybe 20 bucks. All right, $8 reroll is fine. Photograph is good for right now. Go next. All right, time 6 on the campfire. I can play ace high. Okay. Discard 2 purples. Strength for 2 jacks. Okay. Now it doesn't really matter except for maybe we can get a purple seal. Maybe? Is it worth playing all these hands? Maybe. 8 and 6. Go one more. I guess it only cost me like $3, right? Worth of hands. Alright. I could use the chariot on a queen, I guess. Or that's fine. There we go. Cool. 4 of a kind is fine. Alright. So Jolly Joker, Northern Lions, standard pack for the hologram. Could be a fancy queen. Celestial pack, I should have rerolled first, but we get Mars anyway. This could be a situation where the 4 of a kind is strong enough, the 4 of a kind always wins, and maybe what you want to do is you want to level up your pairs instead so you have a backup plan. Or nah. So could be a permanent photograph. Then we won't be able to grow the campfire. Could be a photograph instead of a hologram. Could be hologram we sell next ante. Photograph is cool with the red seal, I guess. Alright, $3 for a reroll is fine. And Fool for Mars is fine. Go next. Alright, so it could be a gold seal 3. Play a rock. Cool. I compare the kings. There's one purple that we can discard for a sun. There's another purple we can discard for a Hierophant. Hierophant could be helpful against the boss. Maybe you go bonus 9 and then play the 4 of a kind queens, or we can play the high card jack and dig. Maybe we get a gold card. There you go. Okay. Hey, look, a photograph? Funny. Did we get a telescope? 4 of a kind can't be my most played hand, right? Played too many high card. Anyway, there's Northern Lion. And then we save our money for the final ante. Could be 13 bucks here, could be Emperor. I think I'd rather have the money. And then go next. Alright. All I gotta do is draw a queen. If I don't draw a queen, things get awkward, but not insurmountable. I could keep the rock. Nah. Alright. Never didn't have it. There you go. If you don't draw the 4 of a kind, you just play the 3 of a kind, and the 3 of a kind wins because we've got campfire on ×8 or whatever it is. Alright, now Mars is worth using. Almost. Alright, we get a death card for our fancy queen. This boss, random joker disabled. Okay. So we can get hologram up to ×3 or bigger. There's no skip tags that we want. So the photograph is the weakest link here. And then we can sell the wheel. Extra discard is useful since you got those purple seals. 54 cards in deck. We got 8s and 9s as gold cards. Maybe I want a gold seal 8. Probably it doesn't matter. Alright. Usually when I have a death card, I don't want to reroll, but with rerolls being so cheap, we should probably reroll. There's Judgment. Flash is kind of cool with the gold seals. Maybe now we just keep the money and go next, or could be extra hand size. We get one less hand, but extra hand size actually helps quite a bit. So I think that's what I want to do. And then I can discard 5 at a time. Go next. So I can play a pair of 5s. I could play 2 pair with the jacks. My campfire is not as big as it has been in the past, and that's okay. I can play... I want to discard the purple. How many purple seals we have? We have maybe not that many purple seals, so maybe it's okay to discard the purple. Don't need a wheel. I could play some queens now. I could play a pair of queens. And maybe I don't need both of these blue seals. Maybe I throw away the 9 here. Okay, so I really want to save death for the red seal. How greedy is that? 8 queens in the deck. I have a lot of action here. So I guess I'm going to play... are we throwing away more blue seals? There's 2 blue seals in the deck. Probably we throw away 1, but not both. So maybe something like that. Judgment. Okay. Judgment I don't care about. I can play a pair of aces. I can throw away another... Probably I'm not supposed to throw away another blue seal if we only have 1 more left in the deck. I could discard this purple jack. We get temperance for 13. We have a lot of queens in hand. So let's start dropping queens. I don't want to play 3 of them, because I think 3 is too strong. But I can play 1 more queen. And yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Alright, we just used a death card, so I'm not going to use the Mars right away. He's back. So let's go Buffoon. Could be a supernova. Oh, I should have... Maybe with the Troubadour you want to open the Arcana pack, but maybe you want to reroll first to get death cards first. Maybe. Maybe the Mars card, I just sell it for the campfire. There's the Chad. We can re-trigger the glass card, and maybe we want to do that instead of doing Michelle. I don't need this tower. I want a Fool. So Bloodstone is definitely worse than the hologram, but I want to grow my campfire. So the Chad will come back, probably not. Let's go 1 more. Alright. Looking for tarot cards. There's a Hermie. So in that case we go Arcana now in case there's a Fool. No Fool, we get the Hungman. I could make another glass queen. But it's probably better to just remove 2 cards. We can remove the aces, probably. So, 4 of a kind, remove the aces. Hermie? Alright. 6 cents is kind of funny. I removed all my 6s, didn't I? I have 3 6s left. Okay. Just grow the campfire. There's a photograph that is also re-triggerable. Smiley face. Okay, $9 rerolls. I think we pass smiley face. And then go next. Okay. I have the glass queen in hand. I can play the pair of 8s first. Never lucky. Could be 10 high here. Got a lot of action. So there's purples we can discard. Fool for Hermie is probably good enough. But maybe I want to try to get better. I'm looking for 1 more purple. Or 1 more queen. So I guess I'll play the 5. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fool for Hermie is fine. Or we try to get a death card. The odds of a death card are not very high. Okay. Times 10 on the campfire. Cool. Okay, so there's Hermie again. We can use Mars cards and then Celestial Pack. So, could be one of those. And then... Alright. Temperance is fine. Do I want Devious Joker here? So now the campfire is big enough that we don't actually gain that much from buying and selling jokers. So maybe we don't do that. Could be Baron. I only have 3 kings. There is a scary face. Polychrome? Nah. We can still... Madness we can't do. No burger. Could be one of those. I guess that's better than a photograph. I do like the extra discard though, so we can try to find our glass cards, but I don't have room. Alright. So, in that case, does it make sense to now sell the hologram? Nah. Could be Ancient Joker on clubs. I guess I don't have that many clubs. Could be a bean. I like a bean. Could be a photograph. Photograph you can re-trigger with the red seals if we have the red seals to re-trigger. Alright. So there's a chariot. And there's more plutonium. Alright, go next. Holograms toast. Cool. I think we got a red seal. So it could be a red steel card. Discard purple. Alright. I have more purple. I could discard a queen. So I don't need judgment. Fool for a chariot is probably gonna have to be good enough. Alright. I have 39 cards in the deck, so I can play a pair. I could discard one more purple. I can save a discard for purple? Probably. I have a bunch of purple, so I was gonna use a fool for a chariot, but maybe I don't do that. Maybe I go use a fool for a chariot, I guess is fine. And then discard these. I think I'm gonna discard that one. Get a hungman. Alright, so 7 cards left in the deck, or sorry, 7 queens left in the deck. We don't get to touch them all. What we can do is I can do that and probably get one more. Alright, don't need the devil. Don't need this rock. 6 queens left. Alright, there we go. Hang with 2. Here's some queens. 13 on the campfire. 375 on the hologram. Chip it. Okay. So, a couple notes here, I guess. Number 1, campfire is powerful. Campfire is busted powerful. The power of the campfire is that you can tune it to exactly how much you need. And we talked about this before, but you know, if you need a little bit of help, then you can buy and sell a few things for the campfire. If you don't need any more points, you don't have to buy stuff just for the campfire. You can leave the campfire at times 1.5, or you can scale it up to 2.5 or something like that, however much you need. You can, when you're about to face the boss, you can save your money for the next ante. It does reset after the boss, so sometimes you want to save money for the next ante. Some things that can help with the campfire, of course, purple seals giving you tarot cards. Sometimes in the shop, if you have, let's see here, the discount voucher, that's going to be really good. Overstock and then rerolls, so we're seeing more stuff. If we're seeing more stuff, then we're able to buy and sell more stuff. Certificate also very powerful. So certificate itself doesn't give you any points right away. It's a value generating joker. It generates money in the form of gold seals and also purple seals. Usually with the certificate adding random cards to our deck, it's difficult to play any specific cards, any specific rank. So you just kind of accept, well, if I'm going to have a bunch of random garbage in my deck, then I'm just going to play pairs. Because if I'm playing pairs, I don't really care what's in my deck. What I care about most is I have those value generators where I can get the money that I need in order to do the shopping that I need in order to get the points that I need. Or potentially you're generating value with the blue seals. So certificate, especially early on, very powerful, totally worth it as an Eternal. Gave us a whole lot of power, not just the blue seals, but also the purple seals. Power that we wouldn't have access to otherwise. Same with the campfire, gave us some security, some safety that we wouldn't have otherwise. We were able to make the play of picking up the Midas mask. Because the campfire was so strong, we were able to calibrate the campfire and then take the Midas mask for a couple rounds. Not holding it on for too long, you know, not being too greedy with the Midas mask, but just enough. And then also we had the red card for a little while. Red card is kind of like the campfire where you can calibrate it to how much you need. So if you need more points, you can open booster packs, even if you don't have the full $25 maxed out interest. And then if you don't need the points, then you don't open booster packs, or you wait until you have the interest. Also pointing out here on the erratic deck, sometimes you can play 4 of a kind. Most of the time, if you rush the 4 of a kind, it's not worth it, in the sense that maybe you can get the 4 of a kind, but the 4 of a kind doesn't automatically score enough points on its own unless you have the higher levels. So it was the blue seals which enabled us to really do the 4 of a kind. As far as getting enough cards to play 4 of a kind, I think 8 out of 52 is a little bit dubious. Maybe 9 out of 52 is good enough. 11 out of 52 is very safe. Here we got up to 7 out of 56, and that ended up being fine, but only because we had 3 extra discards. And then that was enough. So that was kind of that recognition. Knowing that I have those extra discards, extra hand you could just use as a discard. Knowing that I have access to these purple seals for the deck building. Now I feel comfortable I can play the 4 of a kind, whereas maybe you wouldn't normally want to. We didn't need to. We could have just won with pairs, but maybe a little bit stylish here. Take care, everyone.